Hey, welcome to another Cybersecurity Awareness Tip with Richard Chapman from CyberNow Labs. This is a common practice in most enterprise environments, and it is very, very important to ensure that if something happens that's catastrophic, you have a plan in place. So what is the cybersecurity tip that I'm talking about? Guys, I'm talking about setting up a recovery plan. Now, a recovery plan might not be something that needs to be as extensive for your own personal devices, specifically not in the same way that it would in an enterprise environment where you have potentially tens of thousands of endpoints and tens of thousands of employees. But we're talking about your own personal devices, your mobile phones, your laptops, your desktops. What happens if you have a catastrophic failure? What happens if you're using your phone and it fails on you? Or you drop it into the lake and it's not waterproof and it stops working once you pull it out of the lake. What happens if you have a laptop or a desktop that gets damaged in a fire or another catastrophe like a hurricane? Whatever the case may be, what would you do if you had that happen to you? And this is what a recovery plan is for. And primarily, it's a plan that you put in place to make sure that you can take the necessary steps to recover your data, to get back to full functionality, and do that in a relatively short period of time. And again, this can be something that can be pretty heavy for an individual because you're like, what do I do if I drop my phone off of a building and it's smashed? Agree, you probably are going to need a new phone, right? But that said, all of your files, your pictures, your videos, all those things that are on that device, they probably needed to be backed up so that you can go and get a brand new phone and you could then pull down your data and still have access to it and you didn't lose it because the phone died. So what are some of the steps that you need to take in a recovery plan? Guys, this is a much simplified list of steps that are taken compared to an enterprise. But first and foremost, you need to know the inventory that you have, whether it's the laptop, the desktop, the mobile phone. That could come into play and be very important when it comes to, whether it's getting that device back up and running if it's not too catastrophic, or whether it's you're going to replace it with a new device. So you want to know your application inventory, what applications are on the phone, what is the data that I need to pull back down, or what data do I need to restore if I do have a catastrophic failure. And of course, again, like I mentioned just a second ago, the actual device data, device information can be helpful as well too. What is your backup strategy? One of the tips I gave earlier in the month was actually backing up your information. So what are you doing to back up? This is part of the recovery plan. This is just a single component of it. And to most people, it's probably the most important because these are generally files and images and videos and things like that you've created. Those are things that you can't replace. You can't go re-download your video file if you didn't back it up. You can't recreate it, right? It's lost in the moment. You can download an app again if you lost an app because of a catastrophic failure, but you can't download the documents you created with that app. So it's very important to make sure you have a good backup strategy. And then you might implement or you might utilize some recovery tools. If so, what are those tools? Are you using something that's built into the phone, a built-in backup like maybe the Samsung functionality you can get with Samsung phones? Are you using cloud services and so forth to do an image of your phone so that if you ever had to re-image your phone because of a failure, you could do that? These steps are important to make sure that you know what you need to recover, how you're going to recover it, and then how long is it going to take you to actually get it back up and running so you have full functionality once again. But whatever you do, create a plan, know what you're going to do in case you have a catastrophic occurrence on one of your cell phones, mobile devices, right? Laptops or desktop computers. Don't get caught in a situation where you have no plan and then you lose important data that you cannot recreate.